in action against the Indiana Pacers. Austin Reeves, without Luka Doncic and LeBron James in the lineup, led the team with 45 points, a career high for Austin Reeves. But that is not the news that everyone is talking about surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers right now. Just a couple of minutes ago, breaking news, the trade between the Charlotte Hornets and the Los Angeles Lakers for Mark Williams has been rescinded. Shams, what does that mean, and why did not this trade, why didn't it go through?
Malika, sources tell me that the Lakers have failed Mark Williams on his physical exam. I'm told they found multiple issues in that exam, and it's about the extent of the injury of what they got and what they found. And in that exam, clearly they found some issues, and people have talked about his back being an issue. I'm told that that was not the reason of the failed physical. So they found a couple of other issues in his physical exam that they did not expect.
Okay, so failed physical means Mark Williams will not be coming to the Los Angeles Lakers. Dalton Knecht is now coming back. Where do the Lakers go from here on this?
It's not good for the Lakers because their centers, in no order, Jackson Hayes, Christian Koloko, Christian Wood, if you want to call Jared Vanderbilt a center, that's not the group you want to have for a long playoff run. No knock specifically, but this Mark Williams is supposed to be their guy.
And that's one issue. The other issue is how J.J. Redick, Rob Pelinka, and everybody in the Lakers organization is going to have to lie to Dalton Knecht and tell him how much they love him and they didn't want to.
Breaking news in the CBS Sports HQ, where the Lakers trade to acquire Hornets center Mark Williams has been rescinded. Williams failed his physical with the team, according to ESPN. The Lakers were looking to bolster their front court after trading Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. L.A. was sending Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2030 pick swap, and an unprotected first-round pick to Charlotte. Williams has only played 23 games this season due to a foot injury. With more on the story, we say hello to CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. John, this is the trade deadline that would not die, and crazy things continue to happen. A rescindment on the tail end of this trade deadline. I'm looking for precedent in my mind, and I can't seem to find any. What do you make of this story as it happens?
Yeah, it's highly unusual, Joe, and we're getting details now that it was a health issue, that Mark Williams, as you mentioned, he's been often injured. In his career, out of a possible 211 games, he's missed 105. Now, reports are that this isn't about his back, which leads me to believe, without being able to confirm this, that it's his foot injury. He's had a foot injury for a while. He's been plagued by all kinds of different ailments, but the foot has really bothered him. So for the Lakers to decide, hey, we're going to fail him on this physical, the foot issue has to be pretty bad, because they obviously valued Mark Williams very highly here. And this sets up a whole host of problems for the Lakers. For the Charlotte Hornets, you get your guy back, Mark Williams, and maybe you move him down the line. Maybe he heals up and he's okay. But for the Lakers now, there's no way for them to fix their issues where they needed big men. And now on top of that, you're going to have an awfully awkward reunion with Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish.
I was going to say, both sides of this trade, you're reintroducing players into rooms where they thought they had left, and obviously the lives that are affected outside of that as well. It's a very interesting situation and unfortunate for all parties involved, I'd say, especially the Lakers in an on-court manner. As you alluded to there, this is a team that does not have an answer at center, but they do have two of the greatest minds in the sport on court and a great head coach as well. How do you expect them to mask their deficiencies inside?
Well, the big get, obviously, was Luka, and you're happy about that, right? But a lot of people, including me, praised the Lakers for going out and getting Mark Williams, and rightly so. And they gave up not an insignificant amount, Joe. I mean, you give up a 20-31 unprotected first. You give up a 20-30 pick swap. You give up your first-round pick in Dalton Knecht. Apologies to Cam Reddish, a little bit of a throw-in fodder there. But, yeah, they identified the problem, which was they needed size, they needed rebounding, and Luka loves a lob threat. Okay, presto, Mark Williams solves all those problems for you. Now, without Mark Williams and the trade deadline having passed, you're back to basically having no size and not having any functional bigs. You've got Jackson Hayes. You've got Christian Koloko. Christian Wood has been hurt for a while. He's going to be back in the mix. That's just a poo-poo platter of not great when you look at your size up front. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do here. This is when they traded for Christian Wood and Luka Doncic, Joe, their odds of winning the Western Conference went from middle of the pack to third best odds after Oklahoma City and the Nuggets. Now, without any serviceable bigs, I'm imagining they're going to take a hit there.
Yeah, it's like everybody's sitting there saying, well, there's the issue. There's the issue. The issue persists here beyond the deadline with this rescindment, but there's still so much intrigue when you're talking about Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Los Angeles, this storied franchise. What is the thing that is going to have your undivided attention once they do get on the court? What's the question you want answered immediately?
Well, you know, how healthy is Luka, too? Because there's some issues there, right? I mean, he was dealing with the calf strain. That can be a very tricky injury. You don't want that to turn into something that all of a sudden bleeds into an Achilles injury. That would be the worst case scenario. So if he's healthy, if he's fit, I think those two guys will be fine together. But the Lakers, Joe, the issue was really, okay, can they be potentially Western Conference contenders right now? I love Oklahoma City. I think they're by far and away the best team in the NBA. They just got Chet Holmgren back. But when they made these moves, the Lakers at the trade deadline, all of a sudden the Lakers went from, again, sort of like from 5 to 12, Joe. It's just a variety of teams. You could pick one out of a hat and say, you know, maybe they have a chance, maybe they don't. But after Luka is added to that team, after Mark Williams is added to that team, you could see Rob Pelinka's vision of, okay, we're setting up the Lakers for the future with Luka Doncic, but hey, we still have LeBron, and now we've got Mark Williams, and now this roster is starting to take shape, and maybe there could be something this season. I'm not saying that that's out the door because you do have Luka and LeBron, but their odds here on doing anything significant in the postseason definitely take a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, you do have to weigh the viability of this being a contender against how much work you want to lather Luka into here in the stretch run of this season. We'll see how it all plays out, but thin inside are those Los Angeles Lakers. John.
Our own John Gonzalez. John, it is so great to see you. It was very different fans in the arena in Dallas versus the fans that we saw right before tip-off that were outside protesting. Obviously, this big blockbuster move between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. Just your initial thoughts from Anthony Davis and his debut.
Yeah, I hope the people who were upset about all this, who were chanting Luka and sell the team, are paying attention. There was one guy, Jordan, outside who was holding a sign that said JFK got treated better in Dallas, which credit to him for coming up with that. Very clever. It did make me laugh. I get why people are upset, right? I mean, Dirk spent his entire career in Dallas, and just as he leaves, here comes a guy who they think is going to be the next Dirk, and they thought that Luka was going to spend his entire career there. I get it. However, I can't believe that I have to keep reminding people that Anthony Davis is very good at basketball. No, I wouldn't have done the trade either, but it's not like they got a scrub back. He hasn't made 5 straight All-NBA selections like Luka has, but he was second-team All-NBA last season, first-team All-Defense, went to the Olympics, won a gold medal. He's one of the 75 best players in NBA history, surefire Hall of Famer. And oh, by the way, yeah, he's very good at basketball and should pair nicely with Kyrie Irving. So, okay, you're upset. I get it. But still, you got a really good basketball player back.
Yeah, and I think we could all kind of agree, right? The shock is still there, so I can't even imagine if I was a Dallas Maverick fan. I understand, but pump the brakes a little bit here. Put the smiles on your face. Because this has been quite the debut, especially just in the first few minutes of play at home against the Houston Rockets. Let's go ahead and talk about the other part of this trade, right? Obviously, Luka Doncic heading to L.A. L.A. fans will have to wait a few more days to see LeBron and Luka play together, and for Luka's debut. Obviously, we know Doncic is dealing with that calf injury. LeBron has a little bit of ankle soreness, I believe, in his left ankle. It is. However, we do expect Luka's debut to be on Monday against the Utah Jazz. What are you expecting?
He's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see this. I mean, let's not forget, Jordan, that this is a Lakers team that has already been playing really good basketball. They're 11 games over 500. That's a season high. They're only a game back of 4th place, which would give them home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. They're only a game and a half back of 3rd place in the Western Conference, and they've got a positive point differential for the first time in quite some time. So now all of a sudden you add Luka onto that team. I think he's going to be gangbusters. What you can do, it allows you to start both of them, and then you can stagger them. You can have one of Luka and LeBron on the floor pretty much the entire game, and then you're going to close with both of those guys as well. I think there are some defensive concerns, right? The Lakers aren't exactly defensive stalwarts as it is, and that's always been a knock on Luka. Then you bring in Mark Williams. He's going to be a fantastic lob threat with both Luka and LeBron, but he's got some defensive rim protection issues as well, and they could obviously use more shooting. However, how amazing will it be to watch Luka at 25 years old, one of the great players in the NBA, paired with LeBron, the greatest player of all time? I cannot